Hi, welcome to this tutorial. So today we're looking at version control and specifically Git and GitHub and how it's used and why it's important for you. So my name is Doreen Shemweno and yeah, we can get started. Version control is mostly used to help developers and software teams or even just individuals to manage changes over the source code, which is the code they are creating. So when you've created something, version control will allow you to save a history of your creation. So anytime you publish something to GitHub or any version control system, then it allows you to be able to note the different changes and the different times, and therefore easy recovery. And when you're working with people, they can easily make changes from wherever they are, and you all post it or save it on one location. So we're going to create an account. Yeah, so sign up. Then okay, so we can check our email, and here it is. Please verify, and you can verify it immediately so that we can start now working on projects and publishing them on GitHub. Okay, yeah, so here we are. This is how you get started. Okay, now we can create our first repository. A repository is basically a folder where you store files pertaining a given project. So we can create a repository and call it my first project, right? Then the description is optional. You can choose it to be public or private. Public allows anyone to see it, and people can take your code and use it for different purposes. That is forking. They can like your code. Yeah. Then private, then no one sees it apart from you. And then you can initialize it with a readme. A readme is important because it allows people to know what your code is about. Okay? And even yourself. 2 weeks from now, you may forget what the code was for and why you even published it in the first place. So you can initialize it with a readme or not, and then just create the repository. So here it is. So it actually gives you instructions on what to do. And so before we even do this, since our machine, let me check. If I check through this machine, let me come to PowerShell. PowerShell, okay, since I just placed it there, but you can search for it here. PowerShell. Okay, so then choose Windows PowerShell. Then search for Git. Okay. And as you will see, I don't think I have any, the term is not recognized because it's not installed. So I first have to install it, then I can run the commands here. Okay, so go to this site, gitforwindows.org, or you can just search download Git on your browser and it will show you this as one of its options. Download Git for Windows. Once you're here, I will also leave the links to every site I am visiting. Okay, once you're here, then you choose download. Remember to download the Git you need. So it's Git 64-bit. So if your machine is not 64-bit, save it. Okay, so once the installation is complete, then we can now run it, open it and run it. Okay, yeah, so run, and we start the installation of Git into our local machine. Okay, so after patiently waiting for it to complete, then you can launch it. By launching, we just mean let it start and we start using it right away. I don't want to view the release notes, but you can choose to view them. So this is Git Bash. Let's create a folder. Okay, so in your desktop, right click, then select new folder. Let me save it as Doreen. Then I will create a file here. I will create a file new. Okay, I can create a file. Okay, let me just create a notepad file. It doesn't really matter what I write in it. File, and we save it. We save it on this Doreen folder we just created. So go to your desktop, and then in the Doreen folder, we save it as Doreen. It will be a txt. Yeah, so here we have our file. Now you can choose to git bash from here in the folder that you've created. So you can say git bash here, and it will create a git. It will open git bash from the folder you're in. You see this first one just created it outside, but alternatively, other than this way, okay, you can just say change directory. CD means change directory. Go inside the desktop, click tab to autocomplete desktop, then Doreen, okay, no such file. Okay, change directory desktop, yeah, then Doreen. Okay, so tab completes the whatever you're writing as long as it exists, and we're in. Okay, so I'll close this and we continue with this. Yeah, so after you've created your folder, then you need to initialize Git. So we say Git init. That initializes Git. It initializes an empty Git repository in your local machine. So this is where all the history and everything you're doing will be saved locally. Okay, so inside, you've seen it. It has also been saved there. Now, first we need to set up our Git account, our GitHub account here. So we'll do git config. I don't know if it can complete that. Git config. This will be, I'm saying global because I want this to be the one that's used every single time, other than me writing my password and my username every single time I want to use GitHub. Username. Then my username. Do you remember your username? Mine was techdict. Hope you remember yours. And I'll just, when you click the up arrow, it takes you a step the previous command you had done. Down arrow takes you down. Okay, you can just try and see what will happen. Don't know how to explain it. User.email. Okay, our email was, okay, mine was techdictac@gmail.com. Okay, so then after that, now I think we can get started. So once you've completed your Git setup, then, okay, we can just, I don't know if clear works here, but let's try. Okay, yeah, it does work. So let's clear and just have a clean slate to start again. So we follow these instructions that they provide for you. Every time you initialize or you create a Git repository, then this is provided for you. This first statement is used to create a file. So watch what will happen here. When I say echo, okay, I can just copy it instead of typing because I'll take too much time. Control copy, control paste. Okay, paste for this is shift insert. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. Let me copy this again, copy it and paste it. Okay, and inside here we have a readme file that has been created for you. So that's the point of echo. Okay, it creates a file, and then inside this readme file, this will be written. Markdown, its syntax is hash to represent a title or something of that sort. Yeah, then we initialize our Git, but we had already initialized the Git repository, so we don't need to do that again. Now, git add is used to stage. In GitHub, there are stages. So the first one will be untracked. That means it's not going to be posted or published to GitHub. That's the first. Then there is a staging or staged. In the staged, that means while publishing to GitHub, it will be considered and published. Then commit is the last stage. So a file goes from untracked to staged, then it's committed and now pushed to GitHub. Okay, so untracked means that file won't be published when you push anything to GitHub. Tracked means the file's changes are being tracked, and anytime committing is done, then this file will be committed. And then after that, we have our last stage as committing, which then you push. Let me just demonstrate it. Git add, let's say for example I just add the readme file as I said before. Git add readme, so tab always auto completes everything for you. Okay, so then the next step is to commit it. Git commit, you always commit with a message. Always commit with a message, and the message can be something like explain what you're publishing it to, what you're publishing to GitHub. So I can say something like this. Okay, insert, when you want to insert, you press I, so then you can start saying this is a Git, this is my first commit, then control, then escape, escape, shift, colon, and then WQ to exit. Escape, shift, colon, WQ to exit. Okay, then after that, that has been committed and it's waiting for it to be pushed. So now before we push our or read our files to GitHub, then we need to add it locally. Okay, so this git remote add origin represents this folder Dojin. Okay, so you can name it as you feel like, but origin is always the default name given to it. So git remote add origin this. Okay, so we add the file online, the repository we have online, to our local machine. Okay, it already, so I had already created it, and then we push it. Okay, so then we push, that's not happening, we push this, copy it, paste it, then we push it. Okay, so here we're going to be asked for our login details that we had used earlier when creating our GitHub account. Okay, and now we wait for it to be pushed. Okay, so it's done. And branch master. Okay, so a branch called master has been set up, has been created, and if we reload this page, we expect Here it is. So if you remember, and congratulations, you've just built your first GitHub project. Yeah, so as you remember, we had only added, that means we had only staged readme. And so that's where we go back and say git add everything now. Okay, if you want something to be ignored, there's git.ignore. Okay, so you can just read on those, but I will just give you the basics for you to get started and push everything, and then you'll just learn as you go. Okay, so this is really introductory, and then you can add it. Okay, so now everything has been staged. That means they're being tracked, and every change that has been made will also be made on this remote file or folder. Yeah, so git add, then we can commit. The first time we used git commits, we just waited. We did not write the message here. There was a folder, there was a file that opened. But for now, I think we can now start using flags. M is a flag. That means git commit message. This is the message we want to commit with. Uploading or publishing. Let me just say publishing. The second time. Okay, so then enter, and then we can now push. Don't even think we need this now. I hope we don't. Okay, so we wait and see what will happen. It's done, and everything has just been added. Okay, so that's beautiful, and this is it for introductory bit. So you can try out different things. For example, if I created a folder, or let me edit this readme. If I edit this readme file, my first project, that's our heading. Oh, I need to go to the edge here, edit, and then you can just write this is done, and then save it, commit directly. Yeah, so when we talked about branches, the main branch online or on your GitHub repository is always master, and you can create more branches. So if you don't want changes on this, like let's say you're creating version 2 of a product, you don't want to mess with version 1. Okay, so you create another branch where you'll be saving the new changes instead of messing with the first one. Okay, so that's what you do. If you want to make changes and you want one to remain as was, you create a new branch. Yeah, so when we say git push, so it has pushed it. You can also say git push origin master, meaning git push the local to the remote branch called master. Okay, so you can always have different branches and call them differently, but as of now we know it's in master. It's pushing to the master branch. Now, since we made some changes, we can try pulling git pull. It has pulled, and now if we check this file, let's see. Okay, it's just opening with the text editor that came with the machine, so just wait. Yeah, so basically this is it with basics of GitHub. These are the most common commands you'll use, and the rest will come in as you, this is done as you proceed with your web development and any other programming language thing you're doing. So this is done, it has already been added. So that means if someone added something online or in a different machine and then submitted it to GitHub, then I can also get it from GitHub, okay? So if I want to, let's say, if I see some good project from someone and I want to copy it, if I may say, you can use something called forking. I don't know if I can show you that right now, but for example, let's see, explore what is there. My net is a bit slow, so you can just work with me. Yeah, so we have this, I don't know what it is, but let me just open it and then we see, we try and fork and see what happens if we do so. So if I fork this, I can star, that means it's almost like liking in the normal. Watch means any changes made, you will be notified. So you can choose to watch. And then there is fork, the one that I wanted to do. So if I fork it, that it's more or less like copying it. Okay. So now I forked it and now it's like it's one of my repositories. So if I go to TechDict, you see it's in my repositories. So if I just go home, if I just go my repositories, yeah, it's here. Okay, so that's it. That's just it. Yeah, and I think these are the basics, and I hope that you're able to start off. And that's it for our Git and GitHub learning for today. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and don't forget to follow us. We will be very ready to help you whenever you have any problems. Yeah, so have fun and please create your GitHub accounts and start using Git. Have a good time. Happy coding.